Well, pleased to welcome into PhiladelphiaEagles.com Temple University head coach Rod Carey. A couple of owls here to talk about a former owl in Shaun Bradley. Coach, thanks so much for joining us to talk about Eagles draft choice linebacker Shaun Bradley. And I guess we'll start things off real quick. Let's get a scouting report. Well, what are your thoughts on Shaun Bradley, what he has done for you guys over the last couple of seasons?
Well, Sean, with our transition here, quite frankly and simply put, the best leader I've ever been around. And just has all those intangibles that you look for. And then you put that with his skill set, which he runs really fast, he hits really hard, and he tackles really well. So when you got all those things, I think you guys got a heck of a player.
What was that like? Because obviously it was a crazy transition from Jeff Collins to yourself. Manny Diaz stepped in as the head coach for like 10 days. It was a tumultuous couple of weeks there. What was he? How important was he to that group? And what was it like just having that kind of leader in place when you guys stepped in?
Well, the seniors were incredibly important, led by Sean. And I met with Sean the very first night I took the job that I got on campus. And I didn't do much talking, which was amazing. He did most of the talking, and I listened. And what he was saying and how, he's been going about his life and how he saw this thing going is the exact same way I did. And I didn't have to say anything. So it became incredibly invaluable. And then when we wanted some things to go on, I'd ask him an opinion when it was appropriate for a player coach to ask an opinion, and then he would get the message sent. And that's a powerful leader when he can communicate with the entire locker room.
He has one of the single digits, and I was there, Coach, when that Temple Tough tradition got instituted back in the mid 2000s. What does that mean? You kind of give fans a little bit of an insight into what it means for those guys to get that single digit number for Temple.
Well, most places in the country, and every place I've ever coached, a single digit is a recruiting tool where, if you have a high end recruit, you go ahead and say, hey, listen, you want a single digit, because you can have it. Those that not here at Temple, you got to earn it. And it's voted on by your teammates. It isn't a coach thing. I think you deserve it. Or I think this, the players have to vote you. And they know the levity of that. We do some votes during fall camp about who's done the best in the off season, who's done the best in preseason. And once you get a single digit, you can be a freshman, sophomore, junior. You have it for life. And we put you up and you're memorialized in the EO, our training facility, forever. And so he's on a long list of fives, but certainly well-deserved, and he'll be there for a long time.
One thing that always stood out to me about Shaun, going back, just looking at him over the last few years, obviously always keeping tabs on the Owls. He always seemed to come up big against the biggest opponents in crucial times. I know he was involved with that fourth down stop on the goal line against Maryland this year. Had a big interception against them the previous year. Talk about just what does that entail? I mean, is that something tangible that you can kind of put your finger on and say, yeah, this guy's just got it? What goes into being that kind of a playmaker in those crucial times?
Yeah, what you get with Sean is exactly what you get in practice every day. He's one of those rare people, because this is a hard thing to do. He practices harder than he plays, and he loves practice. It's not a dredge for him. So what you see on game day is really simple. That's a thing that just happens every day in practice for him, and so games are pretty dang easy. And that's why you see that in those moments that are memorable. People say he made a play. Nah, Sean will tell you, and I'll tell you, he just went out and executed what he does every day.
Coach, the linebacker position ever evolving in football. I know in college ranks it certainly is the case. In the NFL, absolutely the case. What does he bring to the table from being able to play in the passing game? A lot of people will say, in order for a guy to be a 3-down player in the NFL, he's got to have that ability to hold up in coverage. What is his skill set in the passing game?
Well, he's your prototypical, what I call modern Mike linebacker. He's still got great size, but he's not that 250 size anymore that people are playing with. He's in that 220 range, but that allows him to be physical and take on those big old linemen, but quick enough to get around them. But then in the pass game, he can still take your Tampa drop, your deep middle third. He can match up with a wide receiver who's coming on an in route. He can certainly match up on any tight end that I've been around. And that skill set is the modern linebacker, and he, quite frankly, is the best one I've been around at that modern linebacker spot since I've been coaching.
And the last one, Coach. I know you got to be excited to be able to still see him in the home stadium at Lincoln Financial Field on Sundays whenever possible. I know Sunday's an important day in the college football week, but still good to be able to have him home.
Yeah, well, and when I called him after you guys drafted him, he was crying and he was hooting and hollering. All the emotions were coming out, and he goes, "Coach, I'm just changing jerseys, ain't changing stadiums." I go, "I love it."
Yeah.
So I may try to sneak out there in one of your early games and catch first half or something.
And I'm sure his presence in the city will allow him to come back and visit you guys as well. Coach, thanks so much for joining us here on PhiladelphiaEagles.com. Best of luck. Stay safe, stay healthy, and best of luck to you guys in 2020.
Hey, thanks, Fran. Same to you guys.